Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a love letter to the bygone days of 16-bit graphics, ecto-cooler, and red number 5. Everything from the art style, story, combat, movement, and sound all calls back to the humble arcade and NES origins of the Ninja Gaiden franchise, but with thoughtful attention to modernize the experience. Now, while it might be standard YouTube fare to bury the lead in the last minute of the video, I just want to let you know right now, if you're a fan of action platformers, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is absolutely worth your time, hard drive space, and $22.50 US, at least at the time of this record. Now, if that's all you wanted to know, hey, I get it. Thanks for listening to the TLDR. Before you go, maybe do the YouTube things and click the like button so YouTube will be more likely to show other folks a video that doesn't take 25 minutes to get into the meat of a thing. Or stick around, and we'll cover things in a bit more detail. If you're new here, hi, I'm Squid. I cover mostly action and shooter titles on the channel, and the idea here is to bring you maximum meaningful info with minimum reaction faces. Now, departing from my usual structure, let's get what I imagine may be one of the most common complaints about the title out of the way early. The game is short. Earlier today, we ran through the first run in just over 4 hours on stream. And while I'm competent with this kind of game, I'm certainly not going to be pulling off any no-hit runs anytime soon. That said, there are some in-game options to add challenge for additional rewards in an emergent gameplay sort of way, as well as a hard mode, which is unlocked after completing the game for the first time. If you're the sort who likes challenge runs or are a completionist, I can see this adding to replay value significantly. If not, well, this might skew the perceived value per entertainment dollar in an unpleasant direction for you. Speaking of difficulty and challenge, I was rather surprised here. Maybe I'm still a little bit scarred from an irresponsible amount of time spent with the Xbox era Ninja Gaiden titles, but I was anticipating a far more difficult experience on normal, at least. Now, to be fair, that reputation for obscene difficulty has turned some folks away from the franchise over the years, so I can appreciate Game Kitchen's approach to the overall difficulty ramp and accessibility options on offer here. Within the option menu, there's a good amount of flexibility for specific gameplay mechanics, so you can tailor the experience to more or less what you're looking for. Out of the box, normal felt challenging at times, but fair, and depending upon your personal skill and gear setup, you can kind of ignore some game mechanics. You can decide if that's a positive or negative in your book, but I always like it when a game allows me to break it, given a little bit of effort and lateral thinking put in. Graphically, the game is a treat. It's a smooth rendering of that 90s pixel art that represents a vibrant world without falling into the grimdark trap of sepia. Punchy colors help with overall readability and support the broader vibe of the title. I do feel a little bit silly mentioning performance on a 2D action platformer review, but for completeness' sake here, it runs well on PC, and I assume performance is more than adequate on all the consoles. I'm fairly certain you could run this on my PC from 2005. With some effort, you might even be able to make it work on an old Nokia brick phone. Sound design's top-notch. Combat sounds fit well in the world, and the soundtrack reimagines classic chiptunes into pumping synths and righteous guitar riffs that would make Marcus Phoenix have blade envy. It's good. Have a listen. Platforming and combat make or break this genre, and Ragebound delivers pleasantly for both of the playable characters. Directional inputs are tight, and once you recognize that your character will do whatever your fingers say, for good or ill, you're going to be pinging around the screen and off enemies like a Beyblade on Adderall. The game's unique spin on things here is the inclusion of the Guillotine boost, which is an infinitely chaining double jump off of anything with a hurt box, and an entirely separate suite of mechanics for the Kumori sections of the game, which tend to lean more into a timed obstacle course approach. Think race to the finish levels from Smash. Hitboxes are tight and accurate, with the rare instance of weirdness disproportionately standing out simply because of how rare it is. As you progress through the levels, you'll unlock new gear options for both characters, which fundamentally change aspects of play and game mechanics. so there's adequate room for experimentation and self-expression in solving the game in your own way. Now, I've never really been much one for focusing on story in the Ninja Gaiden series or character action games as a whole. They exist as a backdrop and means to rationalize the ultra-violence you're inflicting on random goon number 347 and a bevy of demons. The story here is well done for the context, and also speaks to that early 90s vibe in terms of dialogue among characters. I mean, as usual, I'm not going to cover the story in detail because spoilers, and statistically at least some of you watching care about that. Suffice to say, it feels a little bit like a begrudging buddy cop movie, but with ninjas and a lore-accurate CIA. Go do ninja things. Overall, I'm satisfied with having paid $22.50 for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, even though it does strain the burrito index just a little bit. Now, while I'm not normally a completionist in most games, I can see myself coming back to this for some snappy, well-made action platforming. And to see how much worse hard mode can punish me. I mean, it can't be worse than the black versions of the 3D titles, right? If this helps you decide whether this is a buy, wait for sale, or hard pass, maybe hit the YouTube buttons. It'll help the algorithm get it out to more people, and is the easiest way to help me out in the process. Before we head out today, I do want to give a huge thanks to the channel's newest members, Moonman and Zanandra. Your gift of gratuitous greenbacks greases the gears and gets the games going, since I purchase all the titles I review on the channel myself so that you don't have to worry about corpo influence. I've been Bald Squid. See you next time.